Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I'm going to teach you how to make lined fleece slippers using a free sewing pattern for women that you can get on my blog. Please like this video and follow my channel for lots of fun sewing projects and free sewing patterns. So this pattern comes in sizes, women's sizes 6 to 10, and there is a measurement chart so you can kind of measure your foot and see where you fit. But because the pattern uses fleece, there's kind of a little bit of leeway within those measurements, especially because some fleece stretches more than other fleece. This pair was made with polar fleece on the outside and like a Sherpa fleece on the inside, and that Sherpa fleece is really fluffy, and it might make the slipper a little bit smaller, but the Sherpa fleece is very, very warm and holds in the heat very well. This pair of slippers was made with polar fleece on the outside and on the inside. So this one is pretty accurate to the sizing, and it's still warm and comfortable. It's just not as fluffy as the lining of this one. These slippers are really great for winter when it's cold and you want to keep your feet warm. They are great for gifts because they only use a little bit of fabric, and they are pretty quick to sew. They look really nice because they are lined and all of the seams are enclosed. So let's get started. For this project, you're going to need a 1/4 yard of polar fleece for both the inside and the outside. You can do fleece for the inside and the outside just like I did with these, but you can also do polar fleece for one and like a Sherpa fleece for the other. So in the tutorial today, I'm going to be doing a Sherpa fleece for the inside and a polar fleece for the outside. So now we're going to cut out the pieces. For the bottom piece, you're going to cut out 2 pieces of fabric, but they need to be mirrored. And then for this piece, this is the side top piece, you're going to need to cut 4, and they, like the 2 and the 2, it makes a pair, so they also need to be mirrored. Now we're going to cut out the same exact pieces, but in the polar fleece. So now we're going to take our side pieces and we are going to match them up with right sides together, and you're matching up this straight edge right here along the top, and we're going to pin that together. Now you're going to sew each of these straight seams with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and a straight stitch. Now I'm going to line up the back straight edge, and I'm going to pin these together. When you sew this is going to be the outside of the slipper. So on the outside slipper piece, you are going to just sew the seam straight down. When you do the lining piece, I'm doing this Sherpa fleece for the lining, you are going to leave a hole. So sew about 3/4 of an inch at the top and at the bottom, and leave this inside open so that when we go to turn the slipper right side out, this is the hole we're going to use to turn it right side out. Now we're going to take all of our slipper pieces and we're going to sew the top to the bottom piece. So I'm placing my slipper pieces, so this is right side up, so that I can place this top piece. This is the right side, and I'm placing it right down on top of the slipper. And I'm going to place this so this goes to the front of the toe here, and this seam goes to the center back heel here. And then I'm going to pin these layers together. Once these are all pinned, you're going to sew around each slipper with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and back stitch when you start and when you stop. So all of the separate slipper pieces have been sewn, and so it's one entire piece. So the next thing we're going to do is turn your outer pieces right side out and poke out your curves. Then you are going to slide your outer piece into your lining piece with right sides together. Just make sure that you match up the bottom shape. This is gonna go in here. And this one's gonna go in here. And we're going to line up these edges right here around the ankle. We're going to pin this together. So now we're going to sew these layers together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So before we turn the slippers right side out, you're going to take some scissors, and you sewed down to a point right here at the front, and we're just going to clip through the layers to that point so that it can open up nicely when you turn it right side out. And do the same to the other one. Now pull out your slipper and you're going to use this hole on the back to turn each slipper right side out. So I like to go to the toe of the lining and push that through. So I'm working on just the lining right now because it is a pretty small hole to fit this whole slipper. Now to close this hole along the back of the lining, you're just going to pinch that seam closed and just do a little top stitch right here across, and that will close the hole. Now you're just going to push the lining piece down inside the outer piece. So these slippers are now done. You can put them on your feet. They're nice and warm and cozy. And that's how you make DIY fleece slippers using a free sewing pattern. I can't wait to see all of the slippers that you make. Please share them with me on social media. Check out these 2 fun playlists with free sewing patterns and handmade sewn gift ideas. And I hope you have a wonderful day.